in England, if you're from like Liverpool or if you're from London, like it's so different. It's almost like you're from a different country in a way. We were just saying then, like Lucas, who's from England, but he's from like London, me and him are like so different. So depending on where you are from in England, like your accent, like whatever, everything is just different. The city, the cost of things, everything is. English people like are very welcoming, very friendly, generally speaking, like going to meet people from other countries, or if someone came to England, like we'd be very welcoming, very friendly, very polite. Culture is like very big. Pubs everywhere, every village, no matter how small it is, it's gonna have at least like one pub. And then obviously cities is just like full of pubs. Pub culture, your friends, if you want to like go and meet your friends, should we go to the pub? Should we go to the pub and have a drink? Or like if you're working, your work colleagues, you might be like, should we go to the pub after work?
Welcome to my podcast, World to the Max. Today I'm with a special friend from England, Harry. How are you, my man?
Very good, mate. Good to see you again. Been a while.
It has been a while. It has been. Pretty much we've met in university, college. We played in the same team. He's a keeper, actually, keeper from England. We don't know a lot of good keepers from England. He's one of them, I guess.
Thank you.
Happy to have you on here, man.
Yeah, very good. It's been like, we met like 2021? That's how long ago it was. And yeah, like UWA, it was good times. Since then, obviously, a lot's probably changed, but no, happy to be here, happy to be speaking to you. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Definitely. It's always good to see old friends. Always. That's why I had this idea to do something about different countries. So it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, I agree. I always think probably think about people in the team that was when we were in the team. Like, what are they doing now? Like, you just don't even know what half of them are probably doing. But it'd be good to I'd love to meet up again, all of us. But it's obviously never going to happen. But it would be good.
Yeah. No, it's a fact. It's a fact. The reason why is probably because we had so many guys from other countries, other regions, other states in the US. So it's impossible.
Yeah, we had guys from all over, didn't we?
Yeah, definitely. So obviously today we're going to talk about England, which is where you're from. So I know most people know where England is, but tell me where it is. Tell me where you live in England, the region.
So obviously England, part of Great Britain, pretty small country, isn't it, really, compared to a lot of countries. I'm specifically from Liverpool. So Liverpool is like in the north of England. And I don't know about other countries, but in England, if you're from like Liverpool or if you're from London, like it's so different. It's almost like you're from a different country in a way. And like we were just saying then, like Lucas, who's from England, but he's from like London, me and him are like so different. So depending on where you are from in England, like your accent, like whatever, everything is just different. The city, the cost of things, everything is different. So yeah, so I'm from Liverpool, which is in the north. Pretty good city, pretty big city, I'd say. Probably when you speak to people from other countries, I think Liverpool and London are probably the two main cities that people know in England. Probably most famous for football and the Beatles band probably. But no, I love it. I love where I'm from. I love it. It's a great city, very nice people, very nice city itself. There's a lot to do. I think it's a good spot for tourism. So yeah, I like it.
Actually, I agree a lot with what you said. It's a lot of countries have different regions, different cultures within the same country, but I would agree with you that from just speaking with the accent, for me, is what gets me the most. When I met, obviously English isn't my first language, but when I met people from Liverpool, whereas people from London, it's really different. It's almost like another language.
Yeah, people think to you maybe I sound maybe a bit Irish. A lot of people say that sometimes. Like for people in America, they often thought people from my accent from Liverpool, they thought I was Irish. So I don't know if they sound similar or not, but yeah, the London accent is probably a lot more clear for you to understand, I think.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it was difficult at first, but then once you're used to it, it's not like it's still English, obviously.
Yeah. Even like the American accent when we were in America, it's obviously English language, but I struggle to understand the Americans a lot sometimes. Like they're like American twang in the way they speak to each other, especially. It's hard to understand, I think.
Yeah, exactly. It's different cultures, different ways of speaking. Definitely. I was used to the American accent, so that's the way I learned it. So
Yeah.
it was easier for me. But no, I agree. I actually, in terms of how it sounds, I actually like the English accent in general because tell me if I'm wrong, but it's more formal. It's more like original.
Yeah, I'd say so, probably. I think, like, the American English, they don't use yeah, it's not as formal as you say. I think English, we speak a little bit more formal. Although if I was speaking to, like, my friends from Liverpool, I'd probably say some words and you'd just be like, "What has he said?" Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to be fair, the relationship is also, I guess it's more polite in general. I would say English people are also very polite. They respect traditions and rules in a way.
Yeah, I think so. I think, like, manners and, like, being polite is something that, like, being in England, like, it's ingrained from you from an early age that, like, you use simple manners, things like that. Even, like, as basic as making sure you're saying please, thank you, and, like, things like, when you go and if you're in a queue, if you're lining up for something, like, in England, like, that's big. But if you go to some countries, like, they just, like, cutting in front of each other all there. But no, in England, I think, yeah, I think, like, manners and being polite and that is something that we're big on. Yeah.
Well, I understand what you said about the cues because it's very different in France from what I experienced. But yeah, definitely. Obviously, England is very big in terms of history in the world. Talk to me a bit about the pride that you have being English.
Yeah, so for me, I do have a lot of pride in being English, but as I was speaking to you earlier, like, some regions, like being from Liverpool, some people from Liverpool don't really like to associate themselves as being English. They're just like, "I'm from Liverpool." They don't really care about being English as such. Even, like, football-wise, they don't care about England football. Like, they support Liverpool Football Club, and they don't care about England Football Club at all. But for me, I'm a bit different. Like, I like England. I have pride in where I'm from. Obviously, it's where I grew up. It's where I've lived most of my life. So, I do have a lot of pride in England. Like, yeah, there's a lot of rich history in England. It's obviously a pretty proud country, as you say. And yeah, I guess I am like a proud Englishman, really. Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that people associate themselves with like the region before the nation.
Yeah. Like, if you're from Liverpool, we're called Scousers.
I've
Some
heard that. Yeah,
Yeah, so some people say, like, "I'm Scouse, not English." That's what they say. So, yeah.
I actually heard Jamie Carragher say something. He's from Scotland,
No,
but he
he's from Liverpool. He's from Liverpool, Jamie Carragher.
really wow. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
His accent is very strong, isn't it? That's why you probably think he's Scottish. His accent's very strong.
yeah. That's why when you say the Scouse, I thought it was about Scotland, but I guess Scouse is like Liverpool region.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Makes sense. Well, obviously, we're gonna talk about the culture
Yeah.
because every country has a different culture. So, talk to me about things that are proper in England, whether it's food, cultural traditions in general.
Say culturally, English people, like, are very welcoming, very friendly, generally speaking. Like, going to meet people from other countries, or if someone came to England, like, we'd be very welcoming, very friendly, very polite, which I was saying to you before. We don't really have, like, I know some countries are like, "Oh no, we don't like people from other countries coming in," anything like that. England, though, is very, like, very welcoming, very polite, and generally, like, we'll get on with anyone. Food wise, we like to eat other cultures more than our own, probably. Like, in England, there's a lot of, like, Italian food, Chinese food, Indian food. The only real cuisine that we have of our own is probably, roast dinner. Have you ever heard of a roast dinner?
Yes, yes, yes.
English roast dinner and probably fish and chips. You heard of fish and chips?
Yeah, obviously, obviously.
That's literally cuisine-wise, that's basically all England has, is fish and chips and a roast dinner. And then if you're from Liverpool, we have something called scouse, as I was talking, like, we're called scousers, and then we also have a meal called scouse, which is basically like a beef stew. But no, like, generally we eat, like, other cuisines. Like, even if I cook my meals myself, it's generally like a lot of, like, Italian food, like pasta, things like that. And then when we go out for food, yeah, it's all other things. Like, tomorrow night I'm going out for Indian food. So, I wouldn't say we're famous for our food. I wouldn't say we're famous for our food, but no, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I was waiting to for you to say that you have one of the best cuisine in the world. Thank God you did. Thank God you didn't because well, it's not exactly England has a lot other things to offer than its food, definitely. The only thing I liked about English food was, well, the breakfast, the
The
bacon.
breakfast, I forgot about the breakfast. Yeah, the breakfast is good.
Breakfast is like top tier,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
very.
you add the tea. Talk to me about the tea. Tea is a big part of your culture too.
Yeah, tea is very big part of the culture. Like I was shocked when I went to America. They don't really like just have a cup of tea. No, like they don't do it like whereas in England, I don't know, if you go around to like your friend's house, your grandma's house, anything like that, one of the first things they say to you is like, "Do you want a cup of tea?" Or like in work, if someone comes in as a visitor or I go anywhere you go, first thing is like, "Would you like a cup of tea?" I don't know, is that not something you do in your culture, really? Like drink
No,
tea or offer tea? No.
people drink a lot more coffee, but tea is a thing, obviously. But it's not like if I drink tea maybe once a week on a Sunday or something like this.
Yeah, tea is a massive thing. Tea and biscuits. When you go around to like your grandmother's house, she's definitely gonna give you like a cup of tea and give you some biscuits. 100%.
Yeah, it's not a myth. It's actually still the case even today.
Yeah, it's definitely the case. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Very good. Well, last thing, I promise we're not only gonna talk about the cons of the country, but let's talk about the weather because the weather is also part of the English culture.
Yeah, the weather is terrible. The weather is terrible. I mean, it's probably similar to France. Probably, actually, no, France is probably better, isn't it? I'd say weather-wise.
In the south, yes. But
Yeah, the weather. I mean, we have like a small period over summer where the weather's good. But generally, it's like it never gets that hot. And when it does get hot, everyone goes crazy. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's too hot. I'm staying inside. I'm not going outside." Everyone just goes mad. But no, like in the winter, to be fair, this winter it wasn't like that cold. We didn't get any snow really. So the winter wasn't too bad. Like I know in America, like in the winter it goes to like -20, doesn't it? But in England, in England, generally the lowest it will get is like -2, -3. So it can get cold, but it's not too bad. And then summertime, it gets good, but it's not always good. Like it does still rain quite a lot over summer. At the moment, it's like today it was dry and it was like 12 degrees. So it's okay. It's not too bad. It's getting nice now.
Well, yeah, the good thing about the about England is even in the summer it's not too hot to the point where if you go to Spain or Italy or the south of France, it's becoming very, very hot.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
was even last week, well, 2 weeks ago, I was on holiday in Dubai. So that was like that was good weather then. But in the summer, like it's like 40 odd degrees there, so it's too hot.
Yeah.
I
Well,
got got back at a good time from there, didn't I, with everything that's going on at the moment.
I was gonna say that. Good timing, good timing.
I know. I literally came home and then 3 days, 3 days later, that's when it all started. So yeah, good timing.
Talking about the culture still. So we talked about tea, but one thing that we can't ignore is the big pub culture in England. It's probably the best place if you like to go out with friends and have a beer or something.
Yeah, pub culture is like very big. Pubs everywhere, everywhere, every village, no matter how small it is, it's gonna have at least like one pub. And then obviously cities is just like full of pubs. Pub culture, your friends, if you want to like go and meet your friends, should we go to the pub? Should we go to the pub and have a drink? Or like if you're working, your work colleagues, you might be like, should we go to the pub after work? So like the going for a drink in the pub is a massive, massive culture. Even if it's like, as I say, you're in work and you're like, should we go to the pub for one drink? You might go to the pub after work, have one drink, and then go home. So yeah, probably. I think the English are quite good drinkers. We drink a lot, I'd say. And yeah,
Yeah.
the pub culture is like probably a lot of that. I mean, pubs probably aren't as much a thing in other countries. It's more like bars and nightclubs, isn't it? But in England, you always start in a pub. Your night out probably always starts in a pub.
Yeah. No, a big time. Exactly. As you said, in some places people don't even go to the pubs or they go straight to the clubs. The UK is known for that. People go watch games in the pub.
Yeah, that's
Something
big.
that
Watching sports in the pub is a massive thing. Like if your team's playing football, if the like Liverpool or Everton, where I'm from, are playing football, the pubs in Liverpool that night will be busy. Everyone's just there watching the football. So yeah,
yeah, exactly. It's not really a thing anymore. to be fair, in other countries, it's going down a lot. The way people went to the bar with friends. Now it's becoming more a thing where people just stay home, watch their own games.
Yeah, yeah. England people are quite social, I'd say. We like to do things as like with your friends and things like that. Even like, I don't know. Obviously, weekends is like the main time when you would socialize with friends or whatever. But for instance, if the football is on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, the pubs are still going to be very busy even through the week. So yeah, it's definitely a big part of the culture.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, part of it too, obviously, the pub culture is also connected, I'm sure, to the sports, the importance of sports in society. Obviously, I don't think there is a bigger football community in the world than in England.
Football is literally like where I'm from in Liverpool, football is like everything. Like, I don't think there's a day goes by where I haven't talked to someone about football. And in Liverpool, you've obviously got Liverpool Football Club, and then you've got Everton Football Club. And I support Everton. Even like, I don't know if it's like this in other places, but like your family, some of you might support Everton, some of you might support Liverpool. And then say your friend group, there'll be some Everton supporters, some Liverpool supporters. It's not like, I don't know, it's not like, I know, like Celtic and Rangers. Like Celtic fans wouldn't be friends with Rangers fans, that type of thing. It's not like that. Like we all obviously are mixed in, but yeah, it's massive. Like honestly, I think if you every male person in Liverpool is like either Everton or Liverpool, and it's massive. It's sport, football. I mean, sport in general is massive, but football is like is everything to the city. I would say I think it's probably the main attraction and the main thing in the city. I think historically, Liverpool's quite like a very working class city, and everything revolved around like the football teams. So people would work during the week just to have money to go and they'd be able to watch like the football team at the weekend. Historically, I think that's what it's like.
No, exactly.
Everything is revolved around Everton, Liverpool. It's a massive rivalry, but it's not like, as I was saying to you, it's not like Celtic Rangers, which like they really like hate each other and like. I don't know. Did you see the Celtic Rangers game on Sunday? There was
No, not the last one, but I've seen a couple of those.
Yeah, that's bad, that one. Everton Liverpool is not that bad because like your friends, like you could be friends with Liverpool and Everton fans, whatever, but it's big part of the city and a big part of the culture. I'm sure like when people, even yourself, probably hear of Liverpool, you probably think about Liverpool Football Club. Most
Yeah.
people don't know that Everton is in Liverpool. Most people are like, yeah, most people don't know that. But yeah, I'm an Everton fan, and Everton is probably it's just as big really. Like in Liverpool, it literally is 50% support Liverpool, 50% support Everton. So yeah.
Would you say it's the biggest rivalry in England?
Ooh, yeah, I think so. I think so. I think other rivalries is maybe like Manchester City and Manchester United, and then Tottenham and Arsenal. But I think Liverpool Everton is probably definitely, yeah, I think definitely is the biggest rivalry in football. I would say.
Yeah, probably in terms of history, probably. Yeah,
I think so. I think
yeah.
so. I
It's
mean,
it's
Everton
it's
haven't
up
been
there.
that good really over like recent years, so the rivalry's not been as big. But I think historically, it probably is the biggest one.
Exactly, exactly. It's the best when you have two teams of the same region that's actually fighting for a title or something. Then it's on another level.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, Liverpool aren't as good as they have been. So, like, we're only just behind them in the league. So, the rivalry is pretty good. And then I think we play them, Everton versus Liverpool. I think we play on April the 19th or something. Make sure you watch it. Make sure you watch.
I will. I will. I will. Yeah. I mean, I want to go back to what you said earlier about mindsets, mentalities of people. You say they're very welcoming. What's another personality trait that you would say about English people?
I think English people are good people generally. I think, well, generous, kind. Obviously, not everyone is the same, and you get like bad people, but I think generally people are generous. As I said, welcoming previously, and look after each other. I'd say families are very, very close, and your family and your friends are everything. And you would do anything for your family. You would do anything for your friends. In terms of like finances as well, even with family, I think family are very like financially supportive of each other. I don't know if other countries are like that. I don't know, but I think in England, You know, we have close communities. Even it might be like the village where you live, your community is very close and you would look after each other. Your neighbors, like the people who live next to you, you would do a lot of things for them. They would do a lot of things for you. So I think, yeah, I would say English people are generally, they look after each other a lot.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I mean, I don't know if that's similar to your country where you're from. I know when we were in America, I think like Americans are like that too. I think they're very close community. They look after each other. So I think it's similar to them in a way.
Okay. 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 I actually didn't know that part about the communities thing. You know what? You know the stereotype we have about English people? It's
Yeah, go
more,
on.
well, that's more like arrogant people. A big thing is arrogance. A lot of people say English people are arrogant. Do you agree with that or you don't?
I mean, I think it just depends. Like there are obviously arrogant people, but generally, I wouldn't say. I mean, I see where you're coming from. Like probably English people probably do think that like, oh, England is like the best in certain ways, and maybe they do have a bit of an arrogance. But I don't know. I feel like generally a lot of countries see other countries as arrogant. You know what I mean? Like
That's
I don't
true.
know. Like I don't. I think English people definitely think that towards German people. I
Yeah.
don't I don't know what the French think about German people, but I think English people, not me personally to be fair, but English definitely have like a not really a dislike, but they do think that German people have like sort of an arrogance about them. And yeah, I think that's probably a little bit of like a, I don't know, a rivalry in a way, English and German people.
I can,
Even when you go on holiday, like if you go on holiday to Spain, like I just feel like English and German people don't really get on that well. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I would agree with that. I would agree. I mean, obviously, as you say, like you have different perceptions of country. But I mean, I would say, well, I'm from France, but not a lot of people have positive things to say about France. Obviously, not a lot of people like the French mentalities. But that's why I was curious actually to hear what you had to say about what people say, the stereotypes about England.
I mean France. I have only been to France actually when I was like very young, so I don't really remember it. So meeting like you and the other French guys when we were in America, like that was probably one of my first like actual opinions of French people. And obviously, like I was really good friends with like you and the other French guys. So for me, I didn't have any bad opinions of France or French people.
I agree. Also another thing about the mentalities. One thing I have to say about English people is they're very funny and they're very sarcastic. They're very they could be the funniest people I know.
Yeah, we're always joking, as you know, probably from like when you know, like there was what, like 6, 7 English, Irish, Scottish guys. Like we always like to joke and like pull pranks on each other. We're never serious. Like you're, to be fair, like if you're being nice to your friends, that's kind of weird. You're always like insulting them, but in like in like a banter way. That's kind of the way it is. But yeah, I'd say we are pretty funny. I think, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, exactly. There's the part that's funny, but also like the banters with your friends, roasting each other. It's for me, it's a
Yeah.
big part. When I think about English people, I think about this.
Yeah, we like to joke. We definitely like to joke and have fun. Yeah, definitely.
Where do you think that comes from?
I don't know, to be honest, probably just from like even now I told you I'm a teacher. So in school I see like young kids now and like they're constantly just like having banter with each other and like insulting each other, but obviously in a jokey way. So I don't know, I think it's just something that happens from like a young age. I don't know,
Yeah,
you're never like complimenting your friends. It's always like giving them insults. I don't know. But yeah, I
yeah,
think yeah, it probably just comes from an early age and then continues.
yeah,
Like,
definitely.
I think outsiders probably like from people from other countries, they probably see English people and think, why are they so horrible to each other? But it's just the way they are.
Yeah, that's my point because well, I'm not someone that gets hurt very easily. I don't take myself very seriously as well. So I don't have any problem with English people. But I could see some people having like a shock of culture in a way that they don't really understand this.
It definitely, I think, like when we go to other countries, for instance, when we were in America, like I might make like a joke to someone, an American person, and they might look at me as if like he's insulting me, but obviously I'm not. It's just like the way we are and how cultures may differ.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely, definitely. So you talked about the other countries in the UK. What are some things that England does that other British countries don't do?
Hmm. Phew. I don't know. I think generally we probably are quite similar. Obviously, the accent is something that differs massively. Like Welsh, English, Scottish, Irish, the accents are completely different. As you obviously you hear the accents, they're different. What are we different to them? I'm not sure. I I think generally they're quite similar. The countries, to be honest with you, think. I mean, I don't think the other countries in Britain I don't think we like each other as much. I know English and Scottish people, they generally don't get on amazingly. Wales is a very small country. I mean, I think no one really cares about Wales too much. But yeah, I mean, I don't yeah, culturally, and I don't think there's much different, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
it's
don't know
funny.
what do you think? Like looking from the outside, do you think there's much difference or?
That's why I asked the question because I mean I could see definitely difference in accents, but in terms of like mindsets, I see the same type of people generally depending on the British country. But no, I agree. I agree.
Have you been to England, Maxi?
I've been when I was younger. I've been to, of course, the touristic experience, London.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
went to I went to Brighton actually. I arrived in Brighton and then, but like a touristic road trip, I
yeah.
guess.
I've actually never been to Brighton, but I believe it's lovely, like the beach and stuff. It's pretty nice, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, definitely. I took the boat from Calais in France, and then
Yeah,
I
yeah.
went to.
Nice.
I like what you said about not getting on with each other in a way because you guys have big rivalries. I don't know if it's like just a sports thing or also in society. For example, a Scottish person going to England, would he fit in easily, or it would be difficult for him to?
Don't think it would be hard for them to fit in. I think they would be accepted. I think it's just there are certain little stereotypes that we have. But for instance, I think it just depends on person to person. If I meet someone from Scotland, Ireland, Wales, I'm gonna get on with them completely fine if they're a good person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
There are little stereotypes, but they wouldn't stop you from fitting into to society. No, I don't think so.
yeah,
I think to be honest, yeah, as you say, there are rivalries in England itself too, and probably a lot of it does stem from football. For instance, Liverpool and Manchester, we are pretty close cities. Like you can get from Liverpool to Manchester in 30 minutes. It may come from football, I don't know, but them two as cities, maybe it's because we're close. Like they have a bit of a rivalry. I think if it wouldn't stop you being friends with someone, but for someone from Liverpool, if they meet someone from Manchester, there's always going to be that little bit of caution, if you get what I mean.
yeah,
And it's probably
yeah.
the same vice versa. So it probably happens all over the country, but obviously where I'm from, that's kind of the main one I know.
Yeah, it's funny actually because being a footballer, being a player, obviously I think about other countries as like teams. I think about Spain, I think about Madrid for Real Madrid, etc. But do you think that's what foreigners do with England, especially like they directly associate the country with football?
Probably. I think so. I think obviously because we have pretty good teams too that are quite well known. I think yeah, I'd say other countries probably do associate England as the teams. Like they might have no idea where Liverpool is or Manchester is, but they've obviously heard of the teams, so they probably just associate with that. I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, okay, okay. Switching topic a bit.
Yep.
One thing I like to learn about a country is the way the education system is. So talk to me about this. Talk to me about the way kids go to school from like elementary school. How is the system like?
So I guess I'm a good person to tell you about this as well. Working in a school now.
Yeah.
So you go, I think from the age of 4, that's when you start something called nursery, which is obviously I don't think you're learning much at the age of 4. I think it's more like you go, you play, that type of thing. But that starts from the age of 4. Um, and then I think you do that for 2 years. And then at the age of 6, you would join what elementary school, but we call it primary school, really. So from the age of 6 to 11 years old, that's when you're in primary school. And then from the age of 11 to 16, then that's when you go into high school. So then from primary school, you would move, join a high school, and you would be there for 5 years from the age of 11 to 16. And that's when that's like compulsory education. You have to be in school till 16.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
then from the age of 16, that's when you can either choose to leave school, or a lot of the time then people go to college. College would be for 2 years, and then after that is university. So I think in England, we don't push learning other languages as much as maybe like, I don't know about your country. It seems that when you go to like France or Spain, a lot of them speak English, whereas we do learn languages in school, but it's not something that's pushed on everyone. I think it's more like a choice. So I don't know, is it compulsory for you to learn different languages in school or not?
That's a good point actually, because well, speaking English literally means you don't need to speak another language, because anywhere you go, you're expected people to speak English. But now in France isn't the best country in terms of that. But I know England is definitely not good for this.
Maybe that's why, maybe you're right about like the arrogance though of English people, because you probably are right that English probably see that like we don't need to learn another language because everyone speaks English, whereas in other cultures it's maybe like more important. I don't know.
That's probably, yeah, probably a part of it is for that. Yeah, definitely. Exactly. And I actually worked a bit in around tourism and stuff. People don't like that. The way someone can come to your country and you have to adapt to them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know.
It they can't do anything about this. Like English people, they could be better at other languages. That's true. But they can't change that.
Yeah, I think we sort of like, we go anywhere and we sort of expect people to speak English, and
Yeah.
we probably get annoyed if people don't speak English when really we're in their country, like it's their culture. We shouldn't expect them to be able to speak English. So yeah, it's probably that's probably wrong of English people, I guess.
Apart from football, that's a very big part of culture. Talk to me about the traditions. I know you have other sports that are pretty big in the UK too, or in England.
Yeah. So football is probably number one. And then I'd say you've obviously got cricket, which I don't know, do you play cricket in France? Cricket's probably like, I'd say, the second biggest sport. And we're pretty good as a country. Like there was a World Cup last week and we got to the semi-final, so we're okay. But yeah, in the summertime, there's not really no football. It's more like cricket. So have you seen cricket, everyone in the white outfit?
No, no, no.
You're not seeing cricket? You need to watch some cricket.
I'm really bad at this. That's one of the only sports that I don't know anything about.
A lot of people think it's boring, which, it maybe is a little bit boring at times, but in England it's like it's a massive sport. In summertime, in the winter, if you drive like around England, there's gonna be football in the parks, in all the parks, whereas in summertime, if you're driving around, it's gonna be cricket getting played in all the parks. So that's a big part of English culture, I would say, is cricket. Which is cricket's like a weird sport. Like, at half time during the game, you have like a meal and tea and things like that. So
Wow.
it's I guess physically, it's not like the most challenging sport.
Yeah, I guess it's like the English baseball in a way.
Yeah, yeah, similar. Yeah, similar.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's. I knew it was one of the country that actually have that in the culture, but I didn't know it was that big.
Mhm.
Um.
You've basically
Also,
you've got English culture now. It's basically football, pubs. Yeah, that's basically it, isn't it? Really, that's probably what you think of when you think of England. You probably think of football and pubs.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And I mean, also one thing that well, you're gonna tell me if it's still a big thing in society as well, but the monarchy is also known internationally.
Yeah. Yeah, still a massive thing. Again, something like being from Liverpool. Liverpool people don't really like the monarchy. Not everyone, just some people. But like the monarchy is a big part of British culture. Obviously, our national anthem is like based around like the monarchy as well, singing about the monarchy. So it's massive. Yeah, massive. I mean, when I don't know what it's like for you, but when we had the Queen and then she obviously died, so now we have a new king, and it's like it was a massive ceremony. The whole country is focused on watching this on watching this crown. So yeah, it's a big part of culture.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, from seeing that from another country, it's like it's well respected in the society. Is that still the case? I've heard that with younger generations, it's becoming less and less important. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's probably right. I think my mum and dad, they would watch the news and like to keep up to date with the monarchy, and they would watch the king, watch him whatever he's doing. Whereas in the younger generation, it's probably not as common. Yeah, they probably just don't really like to keep up to date with the monarchy as much. So I think it probably is something that is fading out of society a little bit, but I assume it will always be there, and there will be certain people who care, but maybe as time goes on, it'll be less and less.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's part of. I think I like that. I like this actually. It's one thing that's very unique about England. That's you don't really have that in any other country. The monarchy culture, I guess. So I think that's something that from another country I appreciate seeing. I want to see when I go to England.
Yeah, I mean, the only other the only other like monarchy I can think of that is like similar to England is probably like with the Pope. That's probably like the only similarity I can make, to be honest with you. I don't know many other countries that, have that leader as such like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a decent example actually. Yeah, I have to agree. Actually, one thing that Callum talked about, which is another episode that we talked about more specifically the Isle of Man, is the way that in society people drag each other down in a way. He mentioned like this British mentality in a way, but he said that it was a very typical thing in his island. But do you agree with that or not really?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's probably, I think, a lot in recent years to do with like social media. I think mainly. I think obviously it probably comes from like jealousy from certain people. Like, yeah, I think so. I think if people are jealous about something, they try and drag people down. And there's a lot of negativity through like social media and things these days. I mean, social media and phones is probably something that is like massive in England now. Whereas I don't think it's probably as big in other countries. British people literally live on their phones, especially like the younger generation. Like being on their phone is like 24/7. And then there's a lot of like negative stuff that comes from that, like using social media and things and dragging people down. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is also most countries that it's becoming this way as well. What's your country's philosophy of life? What?
I don't know really. I don't know. But something I could talk about is the way that like it seems like a lot of British people are wanting to move away from Britain these days. So I don't know if
Yeah.
that's like I was in Dubai last week, for instance, or 2 weeks ago on holiday. The amount of British people that have moved out there now is like crazy. Like I think like honestly, it's unbelievable how many British people have moved out there. So I think a lot of people are just like I don't know. A lot of British people these days seems to be fed up with a lot of things about Britain, so they're looking to like move countries. And I say a lot of people are going to like the Middle East, even America. I think like America is quite a popular choice for people to go to. So yeah, I wouldn't say like I don't think a lot of British people see Britain as like the best place in the world. I think generally, people want to go different places. I did see your one with Vincent. He was talking about like people like want to go to was it America quite a lot, or was it a different podcast where you were talking about like America's really good for providing opportunities and things like that? Whereas I wouldn't say I wouldn't say Britain is the best at providing opportunities, to be honest with you. You're quite limited in terms of like your employment, jobs, things like that. It's hard to be successful. I'd say. I think people go to like live in Dubai and other countries because it probably is easier to make a good life and be successful, I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, definitely, definitely. In terms of finances, the US is very attractive. Dubai, all those countries, but at the end, it's a big debate. If you go away from your home, you need to gain something out of it. So it makes sense in a way, and I think it's also part of the new society. It's becoming very easy to move to another place, whereas before people didn't even think about that. They just stayed home with their family, and it wasn't a thing.
Definitely. That's interesting to hear that like it's not just maybe an English thing, then it's just that's a general thing that like people have opened their eyes to moving away and going and seeking different opportunities.
No,
I mean,
definitely.
when I told my dad about like that I wanted to go on like the American scholarship thing, like he didn't really like know what it was because it was obviously not a thing years ago. So I think opportunities is there's a lot more opportunities these days, isn't there? Things like that.
No, exactly, exactly. I mean, I think it's a very European thing now. A lot of people are fed up with things and they move away. To be fair, France, England, Germany as well. It's those three countries. I would say anywhere I go, I will see on holidays. I will see these nationalities.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I agree.
Yeah, I think we've covered most of the things I wanted to talk about.
Good.
It was good.
Hopefully,
Thank you, Harry. It was great. We learned a lot about England. Always a pleasure to hear from you.
yeah. Thanks very much for having me, Maxi. Pleasure. Nice to see you again. And hopefully, like you've gained a bit of an insight into, England, more specifically, maybe Liverpool. But no, nice to catch up. Nice to catch up as always. Thank you, my friend. Nice one.
No, definitely. I mean, I think a lot of people will learn from it. If people want to learn about other things too, we have other videos. And I've started this podcast maybe 2 months ago now. So it's a lot of things on my YouTube channel, social media. So yeah, perfect. Thank you, sir. Stay tuned for another episode.